Kusanagi-no-Tsurugi is a legendary Japanese sword and one of 3 Imperial Regalia of Japan. It was originally called Ama-no-Murakumo-no-Tsurugi, but its name was later changed to the more popular Kusanagi-no-Tsurugi. Legends. The history of the Kusanagi-no-Tsurugi extends into legend. According to Kojiki, the god Susanoo encountered a grieving family of Kunitsu kami headed by Ashinazuchi in Izumo province. When Susanoo inquired of Ashinazuchi, he told him that his family was being ravaged by the fearsome Yamata no Orochi, an 8-headed serpent of Koshi, who had consumed 7 of the family's 8 daughters, and that the creature was coming for his final daughter, Kusanagi-no. Susanoo investigated the creature, and after an abortive encounter he returned with a plan to defeat it. In return, he asked for Kusanagi-no's hand in marriage, which was agreed. Transforming her temporarily into a comb to have her company during battle, he detailed his plan into steps. He instructed the preparation of 8 vats of sake to be put on individual platforms positioned behind a fence with 8 gates. The monster took the bait and put one of its heads through each gate. With this distraction, Susanoo attacked and slew the beast. He chopped off each head and then proceeded to the tails. In the 4th tail, he discovered a great sword inside the body of the serpent, which he called Ama-no-Murakumo-no-Tsurugi, which he presented to the goddess Amaterasu to settle an old grievance. Generations later, in the reign of the 12th emperor, Kika, Ama-no-Murakumo-no-Tsurugi was given to the great warrior, Yamato Takeru, as part of a pair of gifts given by his aunt, Yamato Hime the Shrine Maiden of Ice Shrine, to protect her nephew in times of peril. These gifts came in handy when Yamato Takeru was lured onto an open grassland during a hunting expedition by a treacherous warlord. The lord had fiery arrows loose to ignite the grass and trap Yamato Takeru in the field so that he would burn to death. He also killed the warrior's horse to prevent his escape. Desperately, Yamato Takeru used the Ama-no-Murakumo-no-Tsurugi to cut back the grass and remove fuel from the fire, but in doing so, he discovered that the sword enabled him to control the wind and cause it to move in the direction of his swing. Taking advantage of this magic, Yamato Takeru used his other gift, Fire Strikers, to enlarge the fire in the direction of the lord and his men, and he used the winds controlled by the sword to sweep the blaze toward them. In triumph, Yamato Takeru renamed the sword Kusanagi-no-Tsurugi to commemorate his narrow escape and victory. Eventually, Yamato Takeru married and later fell in battle with a monster, after ignoring his wife's advice to take the sword with him. Folklore. Although the sword is mentioned in the Kojiki, this book is a collection of Japanese myths and is not considered a historical document. The first reliable historical mention of the sword is in the Nihon Shoki. Although the Nihon Shoki also contains mythological stories that are not considered reliable history, it records some events that were contemporary or nearly contemporary to its writing, and these sections of the book are considered historical. In the Nihon Shoki, the Kusanagi was removed from the imperial palace in 688, and moved to Atsuta Shrine after the sword was blamed for causing Emperor Tomoe to fall ill. Along with the jewel and the mirror, it is one of the 3 Imperial Regalia of Japan, the sword representing the virtue of valor. Kusanagi is allegedly kept at Atsuta Shrine but is not available for public display, and its existence cannot be confirmed. During the Edo period, a Shinto priest claimed to have seen the sword. According to him, the sword was about 84 cm long, shaped like calamus, fashioned in a white metallic color, and well maintained. Another record claims that this priest died from the curse and the power of the sword, but this is most likely a story that was spread to emphasize its power. Recently, Japan's nationally run broadcasting station, NHK, went to Atsuta Shrine to videotape the sword but were turned away. In The Tale of the Hike, a collection of oral stories transcribed in 1371, the sword is lost at sea after the defeat of the Hike clan in the Battle of Dan no Ura, a naval battle that ended in the defeat of the Hike clan forces and the child Emperor Antoku at the hands of Minamoto no Yoshitsune. In the tale, upon hearing of the navy's defeat, the emperor's grandmother led the emperor and his entourage to commit suicide by drowning in the waters of the strait, taking with her 2 of the 3 imperial regalia, the sacred jewel and the sword Kusanagi. The sacred mirror was recovered in extremis when one of the ladies-in-waiting was about to jump with it into the sea. Although the sacred jewel is said to have been found in its casket floating on the waves, Kusanagi was lost forever. Although written about historical events, the tale of the hike is a collection of epic poetry passed down orally and written down nearly 200 years after the actual events, so its reliability as a historical document is questionable. Another story holds that the sword was reportedly stolen again in the 6th century by a monk from Silla. However, his ship allegedly sank at sea, allowing the sword to wash ashore at Ise, where it was recovered by Shinto priests. Due to the refusal of Shinto priests to show the sword, and the rather sketchy nature of its historical references, the current state of or even the existence at all of the sword as a historical artifact cannot be confirmed. The last appearance of the sword was in 1989 when Emperor Akihito ascended to the throne. The sword was shrouded in packages. See also, Kusanagi in popular culture, references. Noman, Nelly. The Kusanagi sword in Nenranjari's Ringe, Festgabe far 1/4 a Hansei Detmer. Ed. Klaus Mar 1/4 Lair. Wiesbaden, Harrisowitz, 1992. 158, €170.